I use 6 different devices at my house. I have got 3 Macs, I have 2 Linux laptops, I've got a Windows laptop, I have a bunch of tablets, I have a bunch of phones. They all run different operating systems, different applications, different versions of those applications. And as you can imagine, everything has got a bit complicated. So that has led me to build the Beast. Now the Beast is a working title, but it is one platform that I can use to access all of my applications. It is hosted at my house. I can access this thing from absolutely anywhere in the world. Today I'm going to walk through the platform. I'm going to show you what I've done and how it's set up. Then we're going to move on. I'm going to show you the entire build. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about KASM. KASM Workspaces is the sponsor of today's video. KASM is a platform that allows you to basically publish workspaces. Then you can access those applications via the browser. It is a really cool tool. I will go through and show you the platform. We'll look at how I've set all of these up. But right now, I want to show you this are the applications that I've published here. For me, I wanted a number of different applications to be available. For example, I've got Firefox, I have the KASM OS desktop, I've got LibreOffice, Slack, Zoom, VS Code. Then I have these other two. These other two allow me just to manage some of the infrastructure that I have at home. For example, if I click on this one, click on launch session, this opens up a Chrome container. And as you can see, this is at the login screen now for Proxmox. If I close this and I go to the other one and I click on this one here, click on launch session, this actually allows me to come in here and SSH to my Linux servers. For example, this is the Ubuntu server that runs KASM. This one over here is the Ubuntu server that has Docker. And then I've actually built a test domain controller that I'm playing around with on another project. As you can see here, you can access all of these devices. This platform not only allows me to work on projects and have access to like Firefox on the KASM OS desktop, it also allows me to support all of my own infrastructure and stuff that I have running at home. Now that was one of the big things that I wanted, because I can come in here, I can customize this, I can add all of my SSH sessions, I can add RDP to multiple different servers, then I can access this from anywhere. It just makes my life so much easier. Now, before I go in and show you the back end of KASM and how I've set everything up, I'm going to quickly review how you can actually get KASM installed. KASM is actually pretty easy to install. I'll leave all the links in the description below so you can get all of these as well. But the first thing you want to look at is the actual system requirements. So you need to run this on a Linux server of some sort. As you can see here, this is the supported operating systems that you can run it on. There is some information further down here about the resource requirements, the CPU, memory and storage. In my experience, building this on an SSD is an absolute must. It just runs so much faster. I would advise you to give it as much memory and storage as you can. What I've done a few times in the past is I've built it, then I wanted to add more and more workspaces, and just over time you will reach a limitation of how much you can actually install in terms of storage. Basically, give it as much as you possibly can. That's what I've done with mine. I host all of my stuff on Proxmox. Over here in Proxmox, as you can see from mine, the Beast, I've actually built a Linux server. I've just built Ubuntu, standard install. Just go through and build your Linux server. Then all you have to do is to come back over here to this page. You want to go to the single server install. You're going to come down here and you're going to copy this script. This script is all you need to actually get KASM installed. You copy this, you want to SSH to your Ubuntu server, and you just paste that. Hit enter. That's going to go through and that's going to build the entire server for you. Once that's done, you are going to get some credentials on your terminal screen. So you want to copy them and make sure you save them. And that way you can actually go and log into the application. Now, once you have logged into the application, you are going to get something that looks like this. Under workspaces and under workspaces again, this is all of the different applications that you make available via the front end of the app, this here. The registry is where you can actually go to choose the different applications that you want. So you come in here and you can search for the different apps that you want. It's so simple to actually get stuff installed. If I click on, say, Brave, and I want to hit install, that's just going to go and now add that and make it available for me to click on. Hopefully by this stage you have got KASM up and going. You have configured some of these different applications that you've made available. If you come over here, you can start to see everything. Now, there is a few other ones. For example, this one is just a workspace. You could just click install and add. But if you want to make some other changes, like for example, this one here, this Proxmox cluster workspace, this opens up and it automatically redirects to that application that web address that I told it to go to. Let me show you what way we can do that. So if we go back over to admin, you want to come into your workspaces. You're going to choose the workspace that you want. For example, that one for Proxmox, I added the Chrome container. So if I go down here, you should see this one. Just click on this arrow. You want to click on edit. As you can see, I've just actually renamed mine. So I've changed my name to Proxmox Cluster. You can see this is the Chrome description. This is the thumbnail for Proxmox. I thought I would just try Proxmox, but there's clearly no icon available there. If you keep coming down, keep going, and you will see this under the Docker run configuration override. Now, I will add the link to the documentation that shows you where this config should go and how it should be edited, but this is where you would come in here and you would add this. This is your launch URL, and then you can put in the address of your application. All you do is you have to add this, come all the way down to the very bottom and click on save. Then anytime you come back here and you want to open up that application, all you have to do is click on the button, hit launch, and that's going to automatically open up that application within this browser window. Now, the last time I built this, I wanted all of these containers to be completely isolated, and I wanted it that as soon as I close it, everything that I did is completely gone. Now, obviously, if you are using this as like a terminal server or using this as somewhere you can work and save your applications, your documents, you don't want that to be in place. You want to make sure everything is actually saved. The easiest way to do that is back over here in the workspaces. Now, I've gone down in each of these and actually made this change. For example, if I go into Firefox, click this little arrow, go into the pencil, you want to go down here and you want to look for persistent profile path. So this is the path on the KASM server where it's going to store all that information. To show you what I mean, let's go back to workspaces here. I'm going to click into LibreOffice. As soon as I open up that, you can see I've got some options. Persistent profile here is now showing up. I can enable that or disable that for this session. I just leave that enabled because I want to save and be able to recover documents whenever I open this application. Just click on launch session. And in here now, you can just use this application like any other app. As you can see, I have a document here that I was working on earlier. You can come in here, you can just create new stuff. File, save, and then it's just going to save that for you. I would encourage you to come in here and just play around with all of the different workspaces and applications and really just seeing what it can do, because KASM itself is pretty easy to kind of work your way around, configure. The documentation is generally pretty good and up to date. I'll put in the links to the things that I've configured, for example, the persistent profiles and also how you can publish applications, like publish that web interface via that Chrome container. It's really easy to do. Now, there is one other thing I want to show you, and that is how you can configure your Cloudflare tunnel to give you external access to this application. There is a few things you're going to need. So you're going to need to have a Cloudflare account. You're going to need a domain. I'm lucky all of my domains are already added within Cloudflare. That's how I manage all my DNS. And you are going to need to run a Docker container or an LXC container somewhere. I just chose Docker because it's pretty easy to set up. And whenever you go through the Cloudflare setup, it actually gives you all of the stuff that you need. So over in Cloudflare, you're going to come all the way down here under networking, and then you're going to see this option for tunnels. I already have the beast there. If I wanted to create a new tunnel, all I would have to do is click on create tunnel. And I'm going to say the new beast. I'm going to go create tunnel. Then it asks me just to set up my environment. What I've done here is I've selected Docker and it's given me this command here below. All I have to do is copy that. Then I have to just bring that across over onto my Docker server, and then you want to just basically paste that in, and that's going to basically download and run that Docker container, and it's going to just spin up that tunnel. It's just going to basically make it available straight away. It is so simple to actually get to work. Once that is up and done, you will see, if I go back over to tunnels, you will see here that the status is healthy. So click into that. Then you're going to get something that looks like this. What you need to do here is then you need to click on add root. That's going to basically add the root to your application. It's going to give me these different options. What do I want to do? So you want to click on publish application. In here, this is where you actually can create the name that you want. I'll say the new beast.gerard.ws. I'm going to leave this here. This is the actual path to the application internally. For the service URL, for me, this is where I would just type in the IP address of the KASM server locally. Let me just quickly move across. I'm going to show you what way I have actually set mine up. So come over here into tunnels again. So here I'm just going to click on view all. Then over here, I'm just going to click on these 3 dots and click on edit route. And from in here, this is exactly the way I've set mine up. So it's just the beast, that's Gerard.ws, and then this is the service URL for that application. It's really, really simple to do. Once you've done that, give that about 15-20 minutes, and then it should start working, and then you can access that externally by simply just putting in the URL. And that's pretty much it. That is how I build KASM. That is how I host all of my different workspaces, how I access Proxmox, how I can SSH to all my servers. So KASM is generally a really cool tool to use. The last thing that I want to show you is this. Obviously, I'm accessing this internally via a DNS name as well. I've done that by basically putting KASM behind a reverse proxy. I made an entire video that shows you how to do that. I'm going to leave that here. Following that and building Nginx Proxy Manager just allows you to start accessing all your applications via a DNS name. I hope that was helpful. I realized it was pretty fast. I just wanted to show you the platform, the beast. Hopefully I will get a new name. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.